בים ולילות, דבר ויושבבה, נהרות ממך וכף, יחד ילדים ילדינו. בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הגיעו לפני המלך אדוני, בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הגיעו לפני המלך אדוני. זמרו לאדוני בחירות, זמרו לאדוני בחירות.
So this Shabbat is a very special Shabbat. It's the Shabbat that comes immediately after 4th of July. And you know, in Israel, actually the Shabbat that comes before Yom Ha'atzmaut, the Independence Day, is called Shabbat Kumah. It's a very important Shabbat, it's a big deal. So we thought that we need somehow to bring some American spirit into our Shabbat, and we weren't sure how to do that, so we started to navigate all kind of melodies. So we will use 2 or 3 American songs that are very popular with some of the words of our Kabbalah Shabbat. So you know the words and you have them. They are on page 138 for Lecha Dodi. And the melody, we are sure that you know too. Sarah has different deal. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, itoreri, ivaorech kumiori, uri, uri, shir daveri, kivod Adonai, alai tiglah. Likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi velo tikami, matishtochachi umatehemi. Bach yechesu ani yeami, meni metai altila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Bohi beshalom, ateret valai.
גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נתקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נתקבלה. And now that we have welcome Shabbat, we invite you to welcome each other, to say hi, Shabbat Shalom to each other, so you can turn to the person sitting next to you and actually talk to each other. You can actually do that. Say good Shabbos to everyone. Shalom. Welcome. So good to see you. You did. Shabbat Shalom. It's good to see you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Laila. How are you? You told me about that. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Desi. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Please rise as we turn our Sidurim to page 146 for Baruch. We are on page 148. Let's read together in English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God,
ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
And as we turn our Sidurim to page 150, I invite you to close your eyes just for a second. And to think about something that makes you feel loved. We usually think that we know what makes us feel loved. That when we recite the Shema, we have the opportunity to take a moment to bring to our minds, to our hearts, those things that make our days, our routines, our existence possible. And when we picture that person, that place, that moment, that feeling, that inspire in us that sense of deep love. We say, dear God, never remove your love from us. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה, Adonai. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel, אוהב עמו, ישראל. Shema. We're on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת באמון הכל, סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. Continue with the silent reading over page 156. רגלינו תעשה לנו ניסים לפתות, ותמות וניחם ויוצא, עולם בראו בניו גדולתו, שפכו ובדו לשמו, ומלכותו ורצון גילו עליהם, משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לך אנו שירה, בשיחה רבה, ואמרו כולם. Page 158. Thinking about the redemption of the children of Israel and about our personal relation as well. לעולם בהם, ונאמר כפדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai, praise thee Adonai for redeeming Israel. Ga'al Israel. On page 116. Ashkivenu, and we add to Ashkivenu the words of one day as we pray for our inner peace and the peace that we possibly can't create with each other.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'Lavidenu Shomrei, L'Chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'Lavidenu Shomrei, L'Chaim, Uv'Tov Aleinu. Sugat Shomecha, ותקננו בעצה טוב מלפניך. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day,
Ashkivenu Adonai,
one day,
Eloheinu Leshalom,
one
V'Lavidenu Shomrei,
one day,
L'Chaim.
one day,
Ashkivenu Adonai,
one day,
Eloheinu Leshalom, V'Lavidenu Shomrei, L'Chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel. The shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the city of Jerusalem. Before we move into the Amidah, it is a custom in Shabbat to remind ourselves that this is a celebratory day, the sacredness of the seventh day. So before we start our personal conversation with God, we sing Beshamru. We sing Beshamru, so we walk into that conversation with a sense of gratitude and joy. So please join me on page 162 for Beshamru.
Beshamru b'nei Yisrael et השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולתומם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולתומם.
אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ולביטולם. ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. Please rise to תפילת עמידה on page 164. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. בצד ראינו לך איזה, זאת אומרת, ותקבל, ותהיה רצון תמיד, וזה ימיך. עוד ימנו חלש, אתה אדוני אלוהינו ולא אבותינו באמותינו, לעולם בחר, עצם חיינו ומגן שנו, לא, רודה לך. עידו בנספלנו, וקבל ונשמור קדשו. אתה, איך כולך וחברך ורחמים, כאילו, דרך מעלם כבינו לך, אחר כולל ברך. נמרור את צנחה, תעשין לעולם, גיר. רצון אמרי פי, בהגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. We are at the bottom of page 180.
Say shalom bimrola, oh say shalom aleinu, oh say shalom bimrola, oh say shalom aleinu, oh say shalom bimrola. כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם.
At this point of our service, we dedicate a moment to acknowledge those that are in need of healing. So if you have a name that you'd like to remind in this evening of Shabbat, please do so.
Peter.
We together join in prayer and ask for their health to be recovered. We are on page 371 for Misha Berach. wish to all of them רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואה שלמה והחלמה מהירה, a complete and a fast recovery. And we wish that our prayers and our presence, more than anything else, our presence have a healing effect over their health. So one more thing, there's a custom that when somebody needs to give thanks, is she here? Ah, it's on her. You need to bring her. Because we are going to embarrass you in the meanwhile, Boris. So there's a custom that when somebody escapes a huge accident, we say a blessing called Birkat Gomel. It sometimes happens in the context of the Torah service, and sometimes happens in the context of whatever service that we are doing, Birkat Agomel. So you can turn your Siddurim to page 371. You are in 371. At the bottom of 371, and you will see that there is a sentence to be recited by the individual that escaped the accident, and there is a sentence in Hebrew and in English that the community is going to answer soon. What? But we need them. Can you call them? Whoever is there from the family. Come on. Oh, perfect. Come, Boris. Come. Come. So this is, what's her name? Adi. What happened to Adi? She escaped a huge accident, and she's good, and she's okay now, and everything is behind her, but her parents want to give thanks. So this is the sentence that you say in Hebrew, and then I help you with, you can say it in English, and then the community will answer this one. And we are, you see, she's very healthy, she's fine. And we are thankful for that. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has bestowed every goodness upon us. And the community says, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shegmar lanu kol tov, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has bestowed every goodness upon us. And we say, Amen, mi shegmarchem kol tov, uigmarchem kol tov, Selah. And in English, Adi, we're always healthy and well. Noam, good job, buddy. Toda rabah. And so this is our our family services. The day in which we acknowledge anniversaries and birthdays. Do you have a birthday or your anniversary is during the month of July? Please let us know and stand up. Where are you? Here. Good. Just come to this area. So I will move around you. Don't worry. I'm trying to open this microphone. Not cooperating with me. I have this one. So what are you celebrating?
We will be married 60 years this Sunday.
60 years this Sunday.
Yes.
Kol hakavod, yishar koach. You too? Congratulations.
I said we.
And you can take this one.
It's my birthday on July 14th, and my sister's birthday is July 12th. So for 2 days, we're the same age, and then I turn a year older. And it was my birthday on Monday, July 2nd.
Congratulations. Mazal tov. I'm getting it.
My birthday is July 9th.
Mazal tov. I was keeping the important one for the end.
Mine's July 30th.
Which? 20th?
July
30th. 30th. 30. Okay. Look at all these birthdays and anniversaries.
Mine is July 19th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So summer, I didn't know we had such a busy summer. July 18th. Congratulations.
July 18th also.
You're 18th also. Congratulations.
We'll be married for 12 years on July 14th.
12 years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, same.
Together. Yes.
My birthday is on the 24th.
On the 24th. Congratulations to you. I'm coming to this side. July 26th. Congratulations, Mazal Tov. Adme Abestrim.
We'll be married 48 years on July 12th.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Am I missing anybody? No. So we are, every time that we reach a new time in life, we say, Sheheyanu bekimanu begianu lasman aseh. We give thanks for the time that we have achieved. And I ask the community to join them in giving thanks for this time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sheheyanu vekivanu vehigianu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Mazal Tov. Maybe seated. Congratulations, everyone. So because we have the 4th of July Shabbat, we have a couple of blessings that we are going to do together after Kaddish. We are going to do the blessing for our country and Kiddush and all those things later. So today we are reading Parashat. Welcome back from your vacation. We needed that. Pinchas. We learned last week that Pinchas was what do you say? A zealot. Pinchas was a zealot. And we learned last week that at the end of the Torah portion, at the end of Parashat Balak, he killed an Israelite and a Midianite woman because they were having a forbidden relationship. And this Torah portion starts by telling us that God saw the zealotry of Pinchas, and he's going to make a covenant of peace with Pinchas, Brit Shalom, says the Torah portion, and he and his descendants are going to be the priest in the temple. That's how the Torah portion starts, which is, for some of us, a bit uncomfortable. This extremist is rewarded by taking the leadership of the temple. Why don't we have the children playing something now? Here, but playing something. But let's give them a job. So the adults can be with me. And now we want to let them make some noise. It's fine. And you are going to be focused with me. Can we do that? Great. So the Talmud says, well, he was a zealot, and that's why he's going to work in the temple. And then the Lubavitcher rabbi says something very interesting. He says, you need a very specific kind of personality to do the work of the temple. You know, Nico Sokolovsky, he can eat meat, but he can't go and slaughter meat and cows and calves and all kind of animals all day. He's not emotionally built for that. Pinchas, on the other hand, he has the emotional setup to do this job. And that's why he's given this job, he and his descendants, in the temple. Now, a very interesting thing is that the Lubavitcher rabbi explains basically that when you have somebody that you don't really know what to do with, you need to find a way to transform the negative presence into a positive one. So the Torah made a covenant of peace with the zealot and gave him a job. Found a way to channel these energies. Now, when we talk about zealotry and about extremist behavior, well, you can think, well, none of us is Pinchas. None of us is like Pinchas. You know, we are all normal people. So when you recognize a Pinchas, it's very easy to say, well, it's somebody else. But when you think about Pinchas as a midah, a quality of behavior, something that all of us may have, this anger or losing our patience or being sometimes too aggressive or too emotional about certain things, or sometimes losing the perspective that actually somebody else who has a different idea of the world is standing in front of us, but no more than that. And we don't see that person anymore, and the only thing that we can see is our anger. So all of us may have something from Pinchas. Now keep the idea of Pinchas. Keep this idea in mind. And let's talk about the time of the year. Do you know what time of the year are we in? Well, that was a good answer to my question. Let's reformulate that. Let's say it again. Do you know what time of the year in the Jewish calendar are we in? Tammuz. Av. We are during the 3 weeks. Between Yud Zayin of Tammuz, the 17th of the month of Tammuz, in which Jerusalem was sieged. And the 9th of Av, in which Jerusalem was, according to the tradition, destroyed. Now, the rabbis explain how the Second Temple was destroyed. They have a story to explain that. I want to share that story with you. The story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. Two different people, Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. And the story says that there was a rich man who wanted to have a party. And he wanted to invite lots of his friends. And he wanted to make sure that his friend Kamsa would come. So he gave to his servant a list with all the guests that he wanted to have. And he specifically said to his servant, invite Kamsa, but do not invite Bar Kamsa. So the day of the party, they were eating, they were celebrating, and at some point, this rich man realizes that his friend Kamsa is not there. He starts to wonder, and all of a sudden, he sees Bar Kamsa. Bar Kamsa is there, and he loses it. He's so disappointed. Bar Kamsa is not just somebody who he dislikes. He's kind of enemy. So he goes to Bar Kamsa and says, what are you doing here? And Bar Kamsa says, you invited me. Your servant invited me, and I came. So he says, leave immediately my party. You got to leave this place now. And Bar Kamsa says, I would pay my part. Just let me stay. And this rich person says, no. You need to leave my party. And Bar Kamsa says, you know what? I am willing to pay half of the entire feast if you let me stay. This Bar Kamsa was a very rich man as well. And the host says, there's no way. And then Bar Kamsa goes again and says, let me pay for the entire feast. Just don't embarrass me publicly. Don't ask me to leave. And the man says, go out. So his family takes him out, and before Bar Kamsa is taken out, says, but the rabbis are sitting there. The rabbis are not saying anything. And what do the rabbis do? The rabbis remain quiet. They don't say anything. By the way, we are talking about the story in the Talmud, Gittim 55a, or B, A. Now, Bar Kamsa leaves the party. He feels horribly. He's very annoyed with the rabbis. And he goes to the Caesar. He goes to the palace. And he tells to the Caesar, you know what? The Jews don't respect anybody. They don't love anybody. And they're terrible people. And they don't even respect you. And the Caesar says, you're wrong, Bar Kamsa. You have no idea what you're talking about. Bar Kamsa had access to the Caesar. He was a rich man. And Bar Kamsa says, no. They would dishonor you. They would insult you. And the Caesar says, let's check it. We will send a little calf to the Jews and to offer for a sacrifice, as a sacrifice, and we'll see what they do. So Bar Kamsa takes the calf and goes all the way to the rabbis, and before he presents the calf to the rabbis, what happens to an offer that can be done? What makes an offer to be unkosher? Well, it has a mum, a blemish. So he takes his knife, cuts the face of the calf, puts the calf there, and says, now we see if they will make an offer. The rabbis have a discussion. Some of the rabbis say, we got to make the offer. We will insult the Caesar. Other rabbis say, well, we don't have to make an offer. People will start to think that we make offers that are with blemish. We can't do that. So other rabbis say, just let's kill him. Let's kill Bar Kamsa. Finita la comedia. We end the story right there. And they say, well, but we can't kill Bar Kamsa because then, people that have a blemish will think that we kill them, and we want people to keep bringing their sacrifices, even if they have a doubt. So we can't do that. So they decide to remain quiet. They say, well, nothing will happen. The end of the story is that eventually the Caesar feels very insulted. And that's the story that the rabbis used to say, al sinat chinam, for unjustified, because of senseless hatred. The Mikdash was destroyed. Now, the reality, for the first temple, the rabbis explained that the first temple was destroyed because of what? Idolatry. Well, the Jews didn't believe in God anymore, so they didn't deserve a temple. The rabbis explained that. That's it. Now, for the second one, is this the story that will explain the terrible disaster that happened to the Jewish people? Why do the rabbis would use this story? This is a lame story. It's not such a bright story. And I think that the rabbis, not just me, the commentators think that too, that the rabbis are trying to make a point with this story that is actually a lame story. They are trying to say that unjustified hatred is quite a lame thing. That it's not such a bright thing. And they are saying, when you stop to see the divine presence in other people, so it's like embracing idolatry. You do not deserve, you do not need a temple anymore. You don't recognize me. You have cut your relationship with me because you are hating, because you are not recognizing fellow humans, so you don't need me anymore. You don't need my temple anymore. And that's the story that the rabbis use to explain that because of very little things, because of very simple things, of lack of control in our daily lives, because we didn't know how to behave with each other, because we were screaming a little bit here and hidden a little bit there, and insulting a little bit there, and Facebooking a little bit here, and blogging a little bit there, the temple was taken away from us. Unjustified hatred, the rabbis are trying to make a point. It's not such a big deal. It's actually a very simple thing. Something that happens in normal interactions between friends. And the rabbis invite us to twist this story. So let me go back to the first story. The story of who? Pinchas. Now, Pinchas can be a different guy, but also Pinchas can be something that we release in our personalities that should be held. Pinchas has a very specific job. He's to do sacrifices. That's what he's supposed to do. Now, we don't let Pinchas lead our lives. We don't let Pinchas lead our interactions. Every time that Pinchas comes, that energy, that negative energy comes in the interaction that we have with each other, we are supposed to find a channel. We are supposed to find a job. We are supposed to find a place for that energy. And when we find a job, a place, a channel for that energy, for that anger, for that zealotry, we are actually becoming partners in building a temple, a future for the Jewish people, and maybe a better country in Israel, every country in the United States, we are bringing the presence of God to our midst. So I invite you in this parashat, Pinchas, and during the 3 weeks between Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, the 17th of the month of Tammuz, and the 9th of Av, to think about what are the places in which you need to find a channel. We need to find a channel. I need to find a channel to place our negative energies and to connect with each other in a more loving way, and in that way to build a better place for all of us. Shabbat Shalom. We continue our service on page 586 with Aleinu Leshaber.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים עמך, ושכינתו זו בגובים מרובים, הוא אלוהינו לילות, אמת מלכנו אפס עולתו, ככתוב בתורתו וידעתו היום והשבות לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל והארץ מתחת. עינות ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. This point of our service, we dedicate a moment to acknowledge the souls that we are missing tonight. If you are doing the first 7 days of morning Shiva, please rise. If you're doing the first 30 days of morning Shloshim, please rise. If you are doing the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise. Stan, are you remembering somebody else? That. Elaine? It's okay, Desi. Now you can support our fellows by standing up. 1 second. Yortsides. If you have a yortside this week. Oh. Go ahead. I can't hear you. Thank you very much. I ask you to remain quiet, at least during this moment. I know that you hear the children, but the children are children. We are adults, and we understand that we are using this time to recognize mourners among the community. Now, you can support our fellows while standing or sitting, joining us with your voices and your intentional presence for Mourners Kadesh on page 598. התגדל בהתקדש שם רבה, בעלמה דברה חילותי, בהמליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עלמיה. יתברך, בהשתבח, בהתפאר, בהתרומם, בהתנשא, בהתהדר, בהתעלה, בהתעלל, שמי לקודשה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה. דאמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יש למה רבה משמיה, וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the memories of your dear ones be for a blessing. זיכרונם לברכה, you may be seated. So, before we conclude our service, when you see Miriam, you need to thank her. Because she asked me, should we do the service indoors? I said, no. And then she said, are you sure? I said, yeah. And then I went to Google and I moved the Fahrenheit to Celsius. I said, okay, maybe. So I called her back and I said, you know, you might be right. So when you see her, thank her. And tell her not to call me next time. Now, we are going to conclude our service with the So do we have kids here around? We do have kids. So we invite the kids to come and to join us for the end of the service. All the kids. And yes, all the kids. Gabby, come you too. I will need you. And if we have some parents, it will be great. I'd like to invite the Brasses. Where are you? You're here. Lisa and Howard to join us for Kiddush. And Jared Brass. And we are good. So what we are going to do, before we go into the Kiddush, let's call all the children. No, here. I need you here. Everybody here. Stay here. So all the kids, come here. I need you to open a chuppah over the kids. Can you help me? Yep. 4 corners. Gabby, can you help me? John, what are you doing there? Come. I need you. So we are, and all the kids come under the chuppah. So there's a tradition before doing Kiddush in Shabbat. We need 4 adults to hold the 4 corners of the chuppah. You are not yet an adult, but Boris is. Okay, Boris? So all the kids, come. And if you want to open your siddur on page 603, in Shabbat, Friday night, there is a custom to address our children with a blessing. So we are going to dedicate you the words of the Presley benediction. We are on page 603, and if you want to join us, we would appreciate that. We say, to the boys, we say, Yasimchem, Elohim, Kefraim, Bekemenashe. And to the girls, we say, Yasimchem, Elohim, Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. May God inspire you to be like our fathers and our mothers. And we say, Yevarchecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Yael Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha Shalom. Shine upon you and may God be gracious to you. May God's presence be within you always. And now, yes, we are going to raise our Kiddush cup, and we need, you can stay here, guys. We need you here. So we'll take our Kiddush cup. I need 2 volunteers. And I invite the community, the entire community to rise. Please rise. We need 2 volunteers or 3 volunteers. Now we want these people to drink something for Kiddush.
Ooh.
And while raising our cups for Kiddush, wait a second.
Jared, you read, I can't see
Our
it.
country.
Very good, Jared.
You want to.
Thus said Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and unite the cords of lawlessness, and let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from the midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. Keep going. Oh, okay.
Guardian of life. Can you open your Sidorim if you want? You can open your Sidorim on page 376 and join Jared.
That'd be great.
Oh, Guardian of
Guardian of
life.
life and liberty. May our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep your eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. And we are on page now 123 for Kiddush. This? By Julio?
Where am I reading? I'm sorry. I can't see.
Here?
You said 123. Oh.
Here. ויחול השמיים בארץ בכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, raise your cup.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hashgafen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav,
v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, v'yahava ratzon hikilanu, zikaron v'mahaseh bereshit, kinu yom tehilot, v'mitrade kodesh, zer kalasiot
מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, ואהבהו. This line for you and me, Andy. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are going to conclude our service with a song for 4th of July. And we have here the custom to make sure that we embrace each other so we can make a big circle and make sure that you are holding somebody. It's you, Gabi.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw
עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום, שבת שלום everyone. ליי 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 ליי